Hi, I'm Matt Holscher with Parent Marriage Coaching. Today I wanted to do a quick video on hurricane preparedness. Hurricanes are one of the biggest stressors in a marriage, especially here in South Florida. My practice is based out of Miami, but for all of Florida, especially South Florida, hurricane season just started now in the beginning of June, and it's a major stressor for marriages. It doesn't need to be, because the stress comes from a lack of preparedness. And once you're prepared, the only thing you have to worry about the forecast for is whether or not you're going to put your shutters up on your windows. Everything else should be taken care of now so that you're not running around with everybody else trying to get prepared at the last minute. See, the problem is you got to think about it. And I'm not one of those crazy preparedness freaks, but I watched a lot of YouTube videos on it to see just what do I need to get ready. Because when somebody kind of brought to my attention that there's only 6 roads out of South Florida, you got 27, I-75, Tamiami Trail, Turnpike, I-95, and US 1. That's it. We're not on an island. It's not quite as bad as, say, Puerto Rico and what they got with Hurricane Maria, but we're on a peninsula. And it's 6 hours to get out of this peninsula to get anywhere else. And the storms now have gotten so big, they can cover all of Florida. There's no place to run to, especially if South Florida gets hit. The rest of Florida is getting hit, unless we're getting one of those strange sideways ones, but most of them are coming right up from the south. So I've chosen to be prepared because that reduces my stress level and I know I'm ready. Look, if you live on the coastline, you need to have an evacuation plan. Most of my clients live in homes or live further inland, and there was a forecaster from Tampa that actually said it best. If you're deciding whether or not to evacuate, you have to remember this little motto. You need to run from water, but you hide from wind. Okay, so if you're on the coastline, if you're in one of the first or second level flood zones, there are actually 7 levels of flood zones in South Florida. I'm actually in level 6. I didn't realize that. I'm one step down from the safest place, but I'm pretty okay here in West Kendall. You gotta get away from the water. So if you're evacuating, you gotta get out and away from the coastline. You gotta have a friend to go to or a place to go. And then you need slightly different preparedness, because whatever you need to be able to take it with you and do it quickly. For the rest of us in our homes are built much better after Hurricane Andrew. They're designed to withstand a hurricane, and even if there's damage, it won't kill you. You may lose your roof, you may get wet, you may have problems, but you are not at so much of a risk of actually physically dying as you are in a flood zone. So I've chosen for the most part to ride one out in my house, and the best way to do that is to be prepared with the essentials. So, the biggest thing everybody needs and that everyone freaks out for is water, right? But you got to remember, Publix, Costco, all the food in South Florida, there's a 2-day supply. Now that our inventory and computers have made us so efficient, there's only a 2-day supply of any food in South Florida. If you do not have it now, by the time the hurricane is coming, there's no more left, and it's going to get stuck trying to get trucked in before the storm hits us. That's why preparedness is key. So I hate bottled water. I think it's a waste of resources, it's a waste of carbon, it's a waste of plastic, but it is a convenience. And so for the simple convenience, I buy 2 cases just because I will use all of this stuff throughout the year, not just for hurricane preparedness. I don't buy anything I'm not going to use. I buy more of the things that I use so that I am ready, right? Because besides this water, this is not enough for a family of 4, right? This is just enough to drink. But because we do a lot of camping, for the same price as these 2 gallons, which is, this is like 2.5 gallons, 40 half-liter bottles. Damn it, I have to do math. I believe that's about 2.5 gallons. This is 7 gallons. For the price of these, at about $7, on Amazon, you can buy this $7 Aquatainer, which holds 7 gallons of water. So I use this for camping. This one has a nice nozzle, so you can set it up, it's nice and square, and then I can pour the water out of it. Before I had this one, I also have this 6-gallon container. So I have 13 gallons right here, and with these 2 cases of water, I now have my 15 gallons, which is plenty of water to ride out a hurricane. Now, if you're in a condo or you have limited access to water, you might need more than that. The other benefit of where I live is that I have a beautiful swimming pool and I live on a lake. So I know there's plenty of water to flush my toilets, to wash myself. This is just for cooking, drinking, and basic survival needs. So once you got your water, the next thing you need is your food. And when you look in your pantry, you'll realize that there is plenty of food in your pantry. You just have to keep it a little organized, keep it a little different, and remember that there's always room for more. Let me get the camera to pan over here. There we go. All right. So in my pantry, what I did was I cleaned out this top shelf for just the hurricane supplies, and I did this last year. So now this is my leftovers from last year, and as you can see, I ate most of it. Got the majority of it at Costco, and Costco has really good 12 containers, just like beer cans, only it's green beans, corn, and tomatoes. So we had all those lined up here. I have some leftover macaroni and cheese, so now this simply comes out of the hurricane supply and goes into the regular supply of food for the household. So that now we know that we can eat those, but I've got new ones in the bag. So you can clean out the old, like the oatmeal, and there's just a few cans of beans left, but I bought a few different things this year. So my hurricane preparedness list is actually on the phone recording the video, and you don't want to take notes anyway. So I will type the 20 items that I use most for hurricane preparedness and put it in the comment section down below. While you're there, feel free to click like and subscribe so you get notified of the other videos. But here's a few items that I just got at Costco today that I love for hurricane. So oatmeal is a big one. You can't go wrong with oatmeal. High calorie, easy to prepare. Both bags are sealed in plastic so it can get wet if there's rain or if there's a problem in the house. You're not going to lose your food. Let's see, my very first year when I didn't know what I was doing, I bought a cup of noodles. I still have about 20 of these cups left because they're disgusting. I've never ate them, but they're also sealed in plastic, and in a pinch, I would eat it. So those are lightweight and portable. Instead of bread, we have extra flour. So, you know, hurricane preparedness doesn't mean you can't live nicely. So we have pancake mix. Costco has a really good hearty pancake mix. My wife found this paleo mix that she likes. And then we have some extra flour so that we can make whatever baked goods we want, whether it's pancakes, biscuits, or bread. So we put that in there as well. And for all types of cooking, you're going to need some type of oil. So you can get a couple of jugs of regular vegetable oil for cooking or frying. We really like coconut oil, so we have some extra coconut oil, and we also use avocado oil for our regular cooking, and we have an extra jar of that in reserve. You know, some of the classics never go out of style. Peanut butter and jelly. I mean, you don't think about it, but just having a fresh jar of jelly preserves well. You don't have to keep it super cold. Peanut butter lasts very well too. And they're comfort foods. They make you feel good, and it doesn't feel like when you're in a crisis, that's when you need comfort the most. So don't forget the nice things. So besides the peanut butter and jelly, we also have some cereal bars. I really like Cliff bars. I actually forgot to buy some, but these Kashi bars were on sale at Publix, so we're gonna put those up there because they're also lightweight, portable, and they can either go with us if we have to evacuate, or they're good inside the house. Keep an extra mayo, some cans of soup, and meats are the other really big thing that you need. So we just started the Dr. Gundry diet, and that's why I had to change a lot of the things that I bought. But these are the things we use anyway. So I have the Wild Planet fresh caught hook and line albacore wild tuna. It's pull and line caught, and it's not farm raised. And then we also have the organic chicken breast that's now at Publix. That's pastured chicken. So these are really good items that we use every day. So we just keep extra ones in reserve, and we'll use them for the house, or we'll use them for camping later. Pasta is always an easy thing to keep around. So we have some extra pasta sauce, which you can use to make sauces and do all types of cooking with. And then good old salsa, you know, this is also very flexible. It's a great condiment and can make other food delicious. Put those up there. Let's see. Here is the macaroni and cheese that I took down before. We got the Annie's Homegrown Organic Macaroni and Cheese. Again, good comfort food for the kids. The The kids don't necessarily like organic tuna and fish, but they love these Vienna sausages. Look, I know it's in this and I know it's disgusting, but it's good. It's good hurricane food, and because it's disgusting, it also means it will last a lifetime in these cans, so it makes it good for hurricane preparation. And then some fresh fruit. You know, fruit's the hardest thing, but we buy the fruit cups for the kids because, again, they're individually sealed. We can take them camping, and they're very tasty. So besides the fruit, let's see. We also keep some syrup around for the pancakes, and I also have an extra thing of honey in here. So, you know, it's not just about the basics. You also want to have some sweetness to make your food good and delicious. So, one last thing, I spoiled myself. I love these Indian foods that they now have at Costco. Paneer tikka masala. These packets, you just have to boil them. So you just boil the packet in water, good enough to cook. We also buy 40-pound bags of rice, so I don't even consider that part of my hurricane supply, but I do have at least 10 to 20 pounds of rice in there. So that's also available to mix with this, or this you can eat on its own. And again, it's shelf safe for a good 6 months. So we put it in storage now and eat it all later. Let's see. Now I'm gonna have to reorganize my shelf. Don't worry, I'm not gonna leave it that messy before my wife gets home. So the other thing that I wanted to mention is that if you have to evacuate, you need to think of a few other critical supplies, especially if you're gonna be leaving South Florida. First of all, you gotta make sure you have your medicines. So I keep a 90-day supply of my Synthroid because I have a hyperthyroidism. So I make sure I have that. So make sure you have your medicines. Don't forget about your pets. I just bought an extra container of dog food just so that my dog will not have to worry about if he's gonna have anything to eat or just eating our leftovers. And then what do you need if you're going to evacuate? So say, man, I'm on the coastline. I love all this food. I don't want to take it all with me. Yes, I grabbed the cereal bars and the tuna fish, but what else? I mean, if you really have to evacuate, or what I keep around for a little bit more extreme situation, is the bucket of freeze-dried prepared food. So the Mountain Grown bucket, this is about $60 on Amazon. It's sealed in a bucket, and it's 12 freeze-dried meals. So all you need is the water that's in one of those containers that I showed you, this food, and a heat source. So you can buy small grills. I have some tiny pack grills that I can take with me that are very light and provide heat. Heat the water, boil it up, cook the food, good to go. You pour the hot water into the food, it rehydrates, you're good. And you can probably even use cold water and still eat it. Not as tasty, but still possible. The other thing I bought for extremes is a life straw. These are $20. This will filter up to 200 gallons of water. So besides all the fresh water that I have there, I have, I don't know how many millions of gallons in the lake behind me. I know I've got another 15,000 gallons of chlorinated water in my swimming pool. And so if push comes to shove, I take this and this. Now I've got at least 4 days worth of food and 200 gallons of water to drink. And you're supposed to be able to drink from any source of water. Scary thought. I've never done it, but $20 is kind of like an insurance package. It's just peace of mind. Once you have the food, the next thing you're gonna need is gasoline. Because I don't care what kind of car you drive, you're gonna be out of gas around Orlando, and so is everybody else. And what we learned from the previous hurricanes is that there isn't enough gas in South Florida, right? That gets shipped in from Texas or even from Europe, but it comes in on barges, and until our gas supply system is reset, 6 million people leaving South Florida, there's not enough gas. So when you need it, it's not going to be there. So I have a small generator, a 2,000 watt small generator that I bought for the house so that I can keep my refrigerator running, a fan, my computer, and the internet. Hopefully the internet's still working, or at least charge my cell phone. I bought that for the refrigerator. It costs $500, but again, it's a good investment that we've used, and I've used it several times throughout the year when just the household power goes out, keeps my business running. That generator needs gas, so now I have 3 5-gallon containers, so I have 15 gallons of gas in reserve at my house. That gas can be used for the generator, because I'm planning to probably ride out whatever storm there is, or I can take the gas with me and the water with me, load up the car, and take off, and now I've got an extra 300 miles past everybody else. And so could you. right? That's enough gas to get to Jacksonville, probably enough gas in my minivan to get to Georgia, depending on how blocked up the traffic is on the roads. But it's enough to get you past the gas station that everybody else ran out of gas with, or it's enough gas to run the generator for a good 3 days, but I could probably stretch it to 5 to 7, just running it enough to keep the refrigerator cool, but not running it all the time. I just recently purchased an RV. Now I know I can use that gas in the RV because it's going to be about 5 gallons a night, but I will be sleeping in air conditioning, running off the generator in the RV in the driveway. So that's another luxury and convenience that I appreciate. You know, we can still sleep in AC. I can run an extension cord in off the generator to run my refrigerator in here, and we'll survive until the power is back on. The other nice thing that's really good to have, whenever I buy a barbecue grill, I make sure that grill has a side burner on it, because that one gas burner outside is great for cooking, heating water when your kitchen's not working, because you probably have electric appliances. So because we have electric, I make sure my grill always has a side burner on it, and I make sure I have 2 bottles of propane. So I make sure that there is always at least 1 full bottle of propane ready to go, because 1 bottle will get you through a week to 2 weeks of camping. Being a little over the top, I purchased a propane bottle just for reserves. It has a more precise gauge on it so that I can tell where the propane is. Let me adjust the camera angle. There we go. And for $15, I bought this adapter, which allows me to no longer need the 1-pound green bottles. So I can get rid of the 1-pound green bottles and just plug this right into my camp stove, into a camp light, whatever I need, so that pans down, doesn't pan up. So I'm using a new camera gimbal too to try to make the videos more fun. The propane gas is there. Now I can plug in my camp stove, and that'll run my camp stove for probably 2 to 3 weeks. So, you know, plenty of extra gas there, and in different forms, it's very handy, very useful. And then you have all the conveniences you need when you're sort of camping out in your home. So this has been a quick tour of my hurricane preparedness. Like you say, I'm all set now. I don't have anything to worry about. I just look at the forecast to decide if I need to put my shutters up or not. Everything else is taken care of. 15 gallons of gas. I can make 15 gallons of water instantly coming out of my faucet. My tap has plenty of water in it, and it's perfectly good until after the storm. In fact, most of you probably don't even realize it, but you know, I'm embarrassed to show you my clutter, but this whole drawer is filled with reusable water bottles. And I bet you have the same ones in your house. And if you just got all those out, there's another probably 3 gallons of water storage right there. Just note, you do not want to reuse milk cartons or Gatorade bottles. Those containers that have had sugar in it, the sugar gets trapped in the molecules and it will feed germs when you try to store tap water in it. So please do not reuse milk containers. You can use it for storing water for toilets or non-potable water, non-drinking water, but don't use it for your drinking water supply. Use bottles, buy bottled waters, or buy containers designed to hold water. I really like those rigid ones. They last a lot longer. You can also buy reusable compressed ones, but those you can only use a couple of times, and if you keep opening and closing them, eventually it wears the plastic and they start to leak. They're good for 1 or 2 times for emergency uses. Not a bad idea to have them around. Because I go camping, I use the rigid ones and I have a place to store them. So be careful where you store your water. Again, I'll put a list of the 20 most useful items in the comments section so that you can go shopping at Costco. Have some extra food ready. Don't touch it for the season, and just think of it as an investment. I'm investing $250 in food. I'm investing $60 in gasoline today, so I don't have to worry for the next 6 months of storm season. And then I'll use that gas in my car as soon as hurricane season's over. In the next 6 months, I'll eat this food supply. Nothing is going to waste. I'm just having a little extra so I don't have anything to worry about. And I hope that helps you reduce your stress in your marriage. And if it doesn't, or if there's other stresses that you need help with, please feel free to reach out to me. My name is Matt Holscher with Parent Marriage Coaching. My website is parentmarriage.com, parentmarriage.com, or call me 305-986-2905. 305-986-2905. I'll put that information down in the comments section as well. So I hope this was helpful for you. Please leave a comment. Feel free to reach out and ask me a question. And I hope you have smooth sailing through this hurricane season. Bye now.